woman to have a voice, not only when it comes to coaching, but when it comes to the decision making in the business side of sports. That's the huge thing.
Behind the mask.
What up, my boy?
What's good, family? Another day in paradise. You know what it is.
Man, we inside of the lounge. Of course it's another day in paradise.
Absolutely, absolutely, man. You know what it is, man.
Listen, we had a conversation upstairs that we just had to come into the lounge and be able to talk about.
Yeah, it's a must.
It's a must, right?
Yeah.
Because now that football season is really it's really almost here. It really is here. But I think back to the beginning of the offseason. And one of the main things that comes up that's a consistent is the lack of diversity in sport, especially in the National Football League. But now I guess we're not saying the problem is solved, but what we are saying is we're seeing diversity in the NFL, right? And I'm talking about the Raiders. Shout out to the Raiders for making the hire for Sandra Douglass Morgan as the president of the Las Vegas Raiders.
Major,
right?
Yeah.
And this is also major. She was like, she's a native of Vegas, but she also came out and said, I cannot wait to meet the president of the Raider Nation fans. And I was thinking to myself, who is that? Yay. She was talking about Cube, dog.
Cube.
Shout out to Ice Cube.
No doubt.
Yeah, man, but I thought it was cool, though. And then shortly after this had happened, the Denver Broncos announced that they're bringing on this former Secretary of State, Condoleezza Rice, to their new ownership group. Yeah. Now, I'll say this. I'm a big fan of Condoleezza Rice. Had the opportunity to meet her a few times, but I think back to 2012, Augusta National, better known as the Masters, they were not allowing women to be part of their club. Condoleezza Rice got that membership offer back in 2012. I hadn't got mine, Augusta National, and I was born there. I'm waiting on it. Let's stay focused here.
Lock in.
So, also, what I love about Condoleezza Rice, man, is she has always kept a close pulse around the game. Born in Cleveland, big-time Cleveland Browns fan, and the thing that I appreciate about her most is she's always made it a point to keep her nose in the football business side to make sure things goes well. Even going back 2013 to 2016, she was a member of the College Football Playoff Selection Committee, right? And then a year later after that, she took ownership stake in the WNBA.
Just doing the thing, man.
Man, listen, man, we seeing all black women doing the thing out here. Shout out to all of the women. Diversity in sport, too.
Yeah.
Like, what's your take, man?
I think is major. Like you said, shout out to all the ladies getting their just due, getting the opportunity to show what diversity is in sports. We talk about the lack of diversity all the time, so now here's the flip side to that coin, right? And, of course, the Raiders, they're historically known for hiring people from historically excluded groups. I think back to Art Shell, when they hired Art Shell in the 80s, one of the first, or the first, I should say, black head coach in the NFL. Groundbreaking.
Huge.
Then Amy Trask, first NFL executive to go on to be a CEO of a franchise in the league. So, yeah, the Raiders are really leaders in this space of diversity, I think. And when you think what that means for women across the board, it's just like they have an opportunity to say, yes, we belong. Because you hear it all the time. And diversity just isn't about us, black men head coaches. We talked about Brian Flores, what happened with him suing the league. But diversity is about different underrepresented groups, right?
The minorities. Yeah.
Across the board, members of the LGBTQ community, women, men, minorities. So when you look at that, man, I think it just shows the direction some of these teams are headed. And I'm saying some because we know we're not there yet.
Yeah,
There's 32
we're
NFL
not even
teams
close to being there.
scratching the surface right now. 32 NFL teams, and you got to think about it, bro. When you have these 32 NFL teams, they have to vote on ownership, right?
They have to vote. They got to vote, bro.
Yeah.
And
Go ahead.
this is the thing. When they make the vote, typically that's when it comes out for public information.
Yeah.
But now we're seeing all of this come out before that, and they are anticipating by training camp, end of training camp, that the deal should be completely done. So, like, you know, just to remind people, like, nah, man, for you to get your name mentioned and to say it's pretty much going to be done, gone, pushed through before the paperwork is signed, that's some good shit.
Yeah, man, that's major. And it's the Walton family is the ownership group with the Broncos.
Yeah, so even with Condoleezza Rice, she's the second black woman to join the group, which is primarily made up of members, as you stated, from the Walton and Penner families. How did they get their bread? Walmart.
Yep.
Your favorite store, dude.
Shop there all the time.
But and I think the beautiful thing about this partnership that it already included Mellody Hobson. She was the co-chief executive of Aerial Investments and the board chair of Starbucks Corporation. So now you got two ladies of color in the mix, sitting up in that piece, saying, we making way.
That's right. That's right. Major, man, as we said. And I think the difference, to your point, the difference is when the league hasn't approved it, and we talked about, the other members have to vote you in as an owner of a new group, a new team, I should say. But the Broncos, being ahead of the curve, are saying, no, these women of color are part of our investment group, part of our ownership group. It's not like it was when Stephen Ross had Serena and Venus become owners of the Miami Dolphins back in, I think, 2009, because guess what? He already owned the team. He's already the owner of the team and just sold some of his shares to investors. But now they're saying before the deal is even dried, it's even the ink is dry, yes, these are a part of my investment group. So that's the difference, bro, and that's major. And again, because historically the league hasn't had a ton of minority ownership when it comes to the NFL teams, bro. So again, and the fact that they're women, to me, is one, diversity in sports is largely important. I think when we look at the NFL, top to bottom, it's a male-dominated sport. True. From team ownership to executives to coaches to players. But we're starting to see a shift in that. Even the referees, officials, we're starting to see a shift in that. Last year alone, the NFL had 12 coaches that were women. NBA had 7. And we're starting to see that in the main sports. And I think for women to have a voice, not only when it comes to coaching, but when it comes to the decision-making in the business side of sports, that's the huge thing. So now women can say, yeah, you know what? Maybe I can't go out there and run past a 220-pound safety or tackle a 250-pound running back or whatever, or block a 300-pound offensive lineman. But the decision-making part of the business side of sports, they have a face. They have a seat at the table. They're like, yes, I can positively impact a franchise. And I think that's what's key. Why? Because we have daughters. You know what I'm saying? When we see someone in our position that has made strides in whatever respective field it is, right? We're like, damn, that person looks like us. Or that person has come from the same struggle I came from. Or the same background I came from.
And what does that provide when you see that type of correlation?
Motivation. Hope.
Yes. Hope.
Aspiration.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? I can overcome obstacles and be great in my own right. And now, guess what? These young ladies, our daughters can say, yeah, we may not be able to run out there and play no ball, but we can be up in the offices, signing those contracts, making the decisions. You know what I'm saying? I think that's what's so dope about diversity when it comes to sports. Salute again to the Raiders, the Broncos, all the teams that are being progressive They're not afraid of the backlash because there's a lot of knuckleheads out there that's gonna say, "Oh, what do women know about sports, or why are they even involved in sports?"
Right.
But to me, that's BS because those same people are the same people, the shut up and dribble crowd.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And if an NFL player or an athlete is one of those people that has something to say in a negative light about women in sports as executives or ownership, think about that concept. You're not going to let anybody else tell you to shut up and dribble as an athlete.
Or shut up and throw the ball.
Or shut up and throw the ball. You know what I'm saying? So how would you sit there and turn around and say, no, because she's a woman that hasn't played the game, she can't be an asset to a team, to a franchise? That's bogus. So I think, again, shout out to the women that are doing it big, and providing an example for little girls out there that look like them, saying, yes, I too can own a team. I too can be a team president. I too can be an executive.